Welcome to today's episode. I'm Nadia Domenick of AmplifAI Strategies, where we help builders, general contractors, and trade businesses amplify their growth, efficiency, and profits using AI solutions. On today's episode, we have a fantastic guest, Thomas Gangi of Boro Builders in Manville, New Jersey. At the age of 16, Thomas began his first construction company and throughout the years has built a very successful and profitable business, to the point where he actually included this year opening a showroom in Manville, New Jersey that is absolutely beautiful. Thomas, your showroom looks amazing. I not only had the opportunity to visit it, but I also stalked your website. So it looks great. Today's episode is going to focus on what is trending in the construction and building industry, as well as the pain points that Thomas is experiencing in today. Welcome,
Okay.
Thomas.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's a
Of course.
pleasure to be here and look forward to hopefully answering a bunch of questions for you and getting you some answers and, helping everybody out.
I love it. Let's start with some basic background information. So you started at 16. So how long have you been in the construction business, and what made you want to get started in that field?
So I actually started when I was 16 working for another company,
Okay.
and I spent a couple years doing that. And then when I turned just about maybe almost 18, I started working for actually my father. Worked for him until the age of 19. In February of when I was 19 in February, that's my birthday month, I decided right after my birthday I was going to open up my own company. So I actually opened up when I was 19.
Okay, good.
And yeah, that's going to be 20 years this February. Still going. It's been a fun ride. Lots of lessons learned, and that's it. We're here.
So of those lessons, what was the steepest learning curve you had when you first started?
Well, I come from a generation where we had the 2008 recession to deal with. So I would say that was definitely the steepest learning curve. I had started my company at 19. I want to say that was relatively right around 2006. And in 2008, not even 2 years later, we had a major recession. So when you first open up a business or any business for real, you don't have any clientele. You have very minimal. You're relying upon advertising, friends and family to kind of get the word out. So when the recession hit, I remember going to work one day. Actually, we did real well the first year and a half we were in business. We did real well. We went as much to having 2 edition contracts in the first year and a half, and that's big. Those were, I want to say, $250,000 contracts,
Nice.
which is very good to have and nice to have gotten that far. But I remember in October, it was either late October or so, or no, early November, 2008. I went to work at one of the projects, and the homeowner was on the front step crying. And so he had said that he had most of the funds to complete his addition in the stock market. He had left it there and he was taking it out as he needed it. He was no more than 35-40% through his project, and he had no money.
Oh, wow.
So
What you do?
So that was quite interesting. Didn't really know what to do, but the gentleman said, "Hey, I still got my job. I have some other things, and try to pull it together, and I'll make payments to you." And at that point, accounts receivable, which would be, future projects you have that are booked and
Yeah.
scheduled, they dropped off. So we didn't really have much to do except to try to, work with the clientele that was willing to try to pay and try to work. So it worked out for maybe about another month until it didn't. And when you can't pay subcontractors, when you can't pay your employees, and things just get rough. So I would say that would probably be the toughest lesson learned. One thing that it did do, though, which was good, is it taught me, and I'm sure it taught others, how to how to keep your company running relatively lean, rather than holding a lot of debt, holding a lot of financing, being reliant upon work. Because in the construction world, it can stop in a second. You know,
Mm.
so it taught me how to run the company a little bit more lean, and instead of purchasing, say, brand new vehicles over the next 18 years in business, I purchased a lot less brand new vehicles, and purchase used vehicles, just things like that, and that helped me. That helped me stay through the waves of construction without having to worry, and I think that's part of why I got so far.
Talk about baptism by fire,
Yeah, yeah.
huh? So let's shift to today. What does a typical day look like for you, if there even is such a thing as a typical day?
No, there is no such thing in this business as a typical day. But typically in the construction world, you want to be up early. Right now we have roughly 27 employees, a
Wow.
lot of people to navigate in the morning. Most people understand where they're going well in advance, but there's always a lot of questions, a lot of things to be resolved first thing in the morning. So that's typically how I'll start my day, is making sure everybody's got their workload for the day, got their materials, their ideas, whatever they need for the day done, and then I'll start dealing with clients.
So you have multiple projects going on at once, right?
Yeah, I would say anywhere's between 9 to 14 projects at once.
That's big, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
So how do you keep track of where your crews are going, the materials going, subcontractors? How do you keep track of that?
Well, in this business, I'd be lying to you if I told you, that there's some easy way to do it. There isn't, because unless you have somebody that's like yourself, a replica of yourself, you have
Yeah.
to handle a lot of things yourself. So I keep track of where everybody's going pretty much right up here, and I'm sure a lot of other contractors that are watching this are doing the same thing too. So
Right.
yeah,
So you basically use your computer brain.
I use my computer brain. Yes, take lots of vacations to rest the computer.
Yes, I know you told me that. That's great.
Right.
So let's shift to trend, industry and local trends that you're seeing. From where you sit, what's changed the most in the industry over the past few years? Is it the clients, bidding competition, or material costs, timelines? What do you see changing in the industry?
I would say the biggest trends would be post-COVID. Um, COVID changed a lot, especially, I'm sure it changed a lot in everybody's industry, but in mine, it definitely did. Um, the biggest trends, there's a couple of them. Clients are spending more money for luxury products now. Pre-COVID, I don't think it was the same. Post-COVID, I see a lot of clients looking for higher end, looking for higher end look. Also, I see a trend where everybody went modern and contemporary modern. And that has a lot of expense that goes involved with it. So I see my clients are spending more money now post COVID than they were pre COVID.
Do you think that's just like our area, or do you think that's like industry wide?
No, for sure.
Our area is.
I think it's industry wide for sure, because even, I have buddies and actually do business in Florida. They're going through the same thing. I don't know much about California, but I'm pretty sure all the way out west is relatively the same thing. I think it's industry wide.
Okay. So are there certain types of projects that you're or services that you're being that you're seeing that are trending a lot more than than previous, like custom builds, renovations, or commercial work? I did see on your website you were looking to get into some commercial. It says coming soon on your website. So
Well, we're into some commercial already. The portion of my website is coming soon
oh,
on some of our commercial work. Yeah. But yeah, I would say, let's say purchasing a home. I have a lot of clients now, post COVID again, that are purchasing homes and knocking them completely down
Okay.
and rebuilding from the ground up. I've seen that as a much wider trend than maybe it was uh, pre-COVID. That's just my experience, but that's what I've seen change, and then I've seen them, spend more money. I remember years ago, it was about savings, and
Mhm.
it was about best price, and there was very little about quality, and well, quality's always been there, but about spending for that luxury look. um, Now you won't see a project without it,
Mm.
and when you do that, that's rare. So I see people have more money now.
Wow. Nice. Good for business.
Yeah.
So current pain points that you're actually seeing, out of everything you deal with running your business, what's the most time consuming or stressful for you right now?
Well, I wouldn't say right now because it's pretty much any time. I would say, taxes and invoicing would probably be the most stressful and biggest pain point. Having 27 employees, that's a lot to keep track of. It's a lot to understand, which project purchases are being purchased for. What I do in my company is I have different groups. So one group may be made up between 2 to 4 employees. And that group is specialized in that specific industry. But that group may work in 2 to 3 different projects in a day sometimes.
Mm.
They may run to Home Depot, let's say, and make a purchase for $700. But out of that 700, 200 is for this job, 300 is for that job, and 100 for the other. You don't know which one it's for. So keeping track of these kinds of things, grabbing these receipts, programming these receipts, and keeping them on a file. Taxes and dealing with the bookkeeping and all that is definitely your biggest pain point in this business. And then also invoicing. Um, what we do with the showroom now is we have each individual product has a price point to it. So one bathroom could have 30, 40 products on it. Those got to be priced individually, put on an invoice. Got to have the right model numbers to the T, because that's what goes inside that bathroom, fits inside that bathroom. So that's very time consuming. You have to basically build the project on the paper, order those, make sure they get there, explain to the employees what it is. So invoicing and keeping track of all that is your biggest pain point.
Mm. So, how do you currently deal with that though? As like, what are you doing, and is it something that like all contractors are doing?
Well, currently I'm looking for a way to try to streamline that process. I don't have that streamlined yet, but what
Mm.
I've been doing is try to utilize help. You have to surround yourself. If you're going to build a business, you got to surround yourself by good people. So I have one employee who's currently working to help with all that. She works inside the showroom. She'll basically try to build the invoice for me, give me the products there, and then I'll go in and I'll just edit.
Hmm.
And that makes things easier, because you have everything already there. You can see what's wrong. You can see what model number you need. You can set the pricing for that, and then get that out. So that helps. And then she's also keeping track of the receipts and trying to separate and do the best she can. And then I have to oversee it. So you surround yourself with good people. You get by.
Right.
And hopefully one day we find better ways.
Yeah. Well, we'll hopefully do that. So
Yeah.
basically, that's how you're managing before it actually snowballs. You're on top of it at every moment of the day,
That,
and
that's what you have to do
yeah, you're on top of it all the time. Yeah.
all the time.
It's okay. So how do you so keeping track of all the project details, the bids, invoicing, and permits, subcontractor schedules, and make sure that nothing gets missed. I mean, you mentioned that everything is in your head, but I mean, you have to have some sort of, you know, tracking system, right?
Yeah, I use a pen and a piece of paper.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's the
So it's, I love it. Does it keep everything flowing smoothly for you for the most part? Or do you
um,
feel like something still slipped through the cracks, you know?
now things definitely slip through the cracks. I mean, you'll have days where you'll come with a lot of energy and you'll be on it, and you'll have really great days, and then you'll have days where you might have slept in a little bit, you might not be your day, and then that's going to be going to be a rough day. Things are going to get missed, but you just got to work hard, a lot of people think, oh, you have your own business, you're your own boss, you set your own schedule. That's the biggest myth ever. Having your own business, and sure, it's like this in a lot of industries, but in this industry, you're working from 6 in the morning to 12 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Even when you're not working, your phone's on, you're working. So,
Right. It's interesting. Like they'll say, people when have their own business, you have this great schedule, you can set it up yourself, but you're actually a prisoner to your schedule.
you're complete prison. So you work for somebody, you have a single boss, maybe two max. You have your own business, you got 20 bosses that you got to attend to. And then most of the clients that I work for, they have their jobs. So during the daytime, they only have so much time to communicate with their contractors. So they try to do most of their communication after work.
Right.
Some of them get home at 5, 6. Some of them get home at 8 o'clock at night. So it'll be 9:30 at night, and there'll be text message coming through. Important things. You got to attend to those. So
Yeah.
it's a constant process.
There's pluses and minuses to both. It really is.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. 6 months or a year from now, what would you like your business to look like? That could either be bigger crews, more projects, fewer fires to put out, maybe more time for business development. What do you like to see it progress in 6 months to a year?
What I would like to see is more home build projects. That's currently what we're trying to get in our company, is more home build, custom home builds. We enjoy those a little more. I enjoy those a little more, and they're a little more simpler actually. Sometimes the bigger the project, the easier it is. Smaller projects, they tend to have the same details, just maybe downsize a little bit, but they take let's say to build a house, it takes this many hours worth of work inside the office. To do a bathroom, it may take 20% of that. So because you're just multiplying 5 bathrooms instead of 1 bathroom, but
Right.
but the job's much bigger than that. So home builds are kind of our sweet spot. That's where I've grew the company to, and the employees are trained in that. So we're kind of set up for those larger projects. So going forward, I'm trying to get more of those. But we're not going to turn down any of the other work in the meantime either. But that's our goal over the next 6 months to a year.
And if you had a magic wand and you could fix one thing in the business right now that's either holding you back, slowing you down, or eating too much up of your time, what would that magic wand be?
I would need more than one magic wand. I don't know. I had to fix one
I'll give
problem.
you 2 wands. I'll give you 2 wands.
Not six, Devin. Um, I don't know. That's a tough question to answer, to be honest. I mean,
Wow, that tough, huh?
yeah, I'd say it's that tough because every problem, there's multiple that need to be fixed, but that's good. That's all. That's building. When you're having a company, you're building it. So all these problems you do have, you have to triage. The most important ones, and then you put time into, and then hopefully you're trying to get to the point where you run super efficient and you get to that revenue level that you're looking to get to. But I don't know if I had a magic wand. I would have to sit and think what I would fix.
Boy, someone's giving you a magic wand and you're like, I don't
I
know.
don't,
To fix those problems. But what problem? Okay, so no magic wand then. But if one of those things or two could be alleviated, like to free up some of your time, then what would you like to have alleviated to free up
What
more?
I would love to have alleviated is a way to figure out, you know, from the beginning, the sizes of the materials and the specs of the materials and all that, and have a way to be able to do that easily. What takes the most amount of time from me is figuring out what's needed to let's say to finish a house. You know, a bathroom, a custom bathroom in a home could have 7 different tiles. Sometimes I've had some issues where, we work with interior designers, and we have, this tile with this design and this tile with that design on this wall. So if there was an easy way to get the calculation done that this is what was needed for that wall, and that could be done quickly and easily and have it labeled, and I could relay that to the employee, that would probably be the magic wand.
And lay out the tiles. So the number of tiles and lay it out.
I mean, I would say, like, yeah, have a layout of the material and a clear instruction on where it goes. That would be great. My dream would be where a customer walks into my showroom and has a scanner, and they could like scan the product, and they can upload the product on an iPad to where it goes in the house.
Wow.
Because then when that gets done, I can have this the square feet, the linear feet, everything is right there already in the drawing.
Yeah.
But I can have it. I'll know exactly. Okay, we're gonna go with Arctic white, 20 square feet, this wall. And that would make life save hours and hours away.
Not only that, but also I would imagine it would help with inventory control and costs. So you have a more precise idea of what you need, correct?
That would we don't keep inventory, but that would for sure. If we did, that would be very helpful.
So you're buying as you need.
Yeah, in our showroom, what we decided our business model is going to be everything is ordered, custom ordered. So keep only in stock of what we need. Let's say you come in, you want to pick a shower valve. You love the shower valve. The trim is going to take 2 weeks to come in, but you're doing a bathroom now. So we keep the rough-in valves in stock. We keep things like that in stock,
Right,
but
right.
very, very limited in what our stock is.
Okay, sounds good.
But that's part of that lenient, running lean mentality, where let's say, the economy goes down for a little while. We're not stuck with a huge bill of our stock that we have to come up with. So, so we're running lean and we can make it through the waves. And, the showroom is a brand new business this year. So it's going to take some time for that to, get up off the ground. And so it's a good place to be when you don't keep stock.
Okay, sounds good. Learned your lesson back in the day, didn't you, with that lean, being lean?
Yeah.
Is there something you've been wanting to try, technology-wise, or maybe a new service or process, but haven't had the time or resources to implement yet?
There are some services out there that help to organize the service itself, where it's almost like an application where the client and all the employees are connected on an app, and the client can send pictures with notes on the app. It's visible to the other employees. That's something that I find very interesting. That may help a lot. But in the same rate, that may also be another thing to take a lot of time away. I'm sure the learning curve to even get the employees to understand that app, start to use it, and use it religiously, it would be quite long. So I'm very, I'm not very. I don't jump the gun on new technology just yet, because the learning curve for anything is going to be quite expensive and quite time consuming. So it really has to be a real worth it end result.
Gotcha.
And I think a lot of contractors would probably feel the same.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, Thomas, I am very, very grateful for your time. This was wonderful. You've given me a lot of real world insight into what's going on in the construction business, some real pain points, the trends that are happening in the industry. And I'd like to thank you for joining Amplify Strategies and giving me your expertise, opinion, and insight. Thank you so much, Thomas.
No problem. My pleasure.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.